Um, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Oh my gosh. I was just saying, I was like, I like get nervous. It's like I feel like I just performed for everybody, even though that was totally obviously not live. It was filmed a month ago. But I'm just like, I get like, especially during like the hair hanging, I find myself being like really stiff. I'm like feeling as if I'm performing for you guys live, which is really funny as I'm like sitting on the couch with Luna next to my mom. But anyways, I just want to say thank you guys for being here. Like, oh, I was really nervous to do this, wondering if anybody would like want to see it, a virtual show. Who knows in this world anymore what people want. And I just want to say thank you so much for like allowing me to do here I go again, getting emotional, for allowing me to do what I love so much. Like, I love doing this, and you guys make it possible, and you show up every time and allow me to do what brings me so much joy. And my team, like, when we were filming this, we were all just so full of gratitude that we got to make something, and that the dancers were like, it feels good to dance. And, you know, the guys that were doing the cameras, like, everybody was just like, grateful to be there. And so I just want to say you made such a difference to us by supporting this whole thing. Anyways, okay, you guys have a lot of questions you've been sending in, so I will just start. Favorite Christmas cookie. We sent a recipe for Mama Bear cookies. They're actually my business manager's cookies. She's made them for me when I'm on tour before. They're so good. And lately I've been really into Oreos and milk again. It's like I'm going back to my childhood. Okay, you're a source of strength. This is Elizabeth. Oh, and that was Todd. Thank you guys for your questions. Elizabeth said, you are a source of strength and inspiration to us. Thank you. Please share who inspired you as a child to first pick up the violin. It wasn't a specific person. It was that my parents really like classical music. And so they would play it on these old record players all the time. And sometimes they would take me and my sisters to these like community event orchestra concerts, and I just saw that the violinists always got the solos. They always got the fun, fast parts, and so that's why as a child I was like, I want to play that. I want to play the fast notes. So I got hooked. From Valerie, what's the most valuable lesson that you've learned this year? Oh, so much. I think this year has taught all of us so much. I think it's really taught me the value of balance again. I feel like that's a lesson I keep having to relearn. And I'm so grateful for the time I've spent with family. And it's just like a reset for reminding me of like what's actually important in life. So I think it's just been a huge year for that for me. Also, I've had a really hard mental health year, as I think a lot of people can relate to, just a lot more anxiety and days of depression. And it's taught me to really dig deep again and be like, I need to be intentional with how I think, and I can't just let my mind run wild. We gotta work on this. So that's been a really good thing for me to like relearn, because I've done that in the past and then I've just gotten a little lazy with it, because I'm able to hide behind being busy or like jumping on stage and being like, it's fine, everything's fine. And this year I couldn't do that. So it's been good for me. Did the I wonder as I wandered dust get on your violin at all? This is from Alicia. And was it easy to clean off? I used an older violin for that one that I wasn't going to be as worried about. I never would have used a wooden acoustic one. But for that very reason, I used an older violin that's carbon fiber. And so you could wipe it off, it had a texture that I felt and so it was able to clean off. The thing that was hard to clean off was our skin. We filmed it at the end of the day. We filmed 2 songs a day for this show, which was pretty intense because we also had to film skits. It was a lot. But we filmed that one last on one of the days, but we were filming the next morning. And we went to go like wash off the dust. The dust had turned green on our skin, and my hands were solid green, like around my eyes and like around my nostrils. Like all of us were just, our arms green, and it would not come off. We had to like go get laundry detergent soap and scrub. And also our hair, we were all like, are we going to be green for the rest of this shoot? It was in the middle of the week. Anyways, that was kind of funny, but it came off yes, because obviously we weren't green in any of the numbers. Where did the inspiration for the dancer's costume in We Three Kings come from? You know, it's funny. On my tours in the past, I had a very literal approach to that number. I dressed them up like they were like kind of, you know, like an old school king costume. And it was never, it never felt quite right to me. And so I thought for this, I wanted it to be like kind of modern and eclectic feeling. And actually I got almost all this stuff from Dolls Kill, which is a really funky website. It's got a lot of like just really crazy like raver clothing on it and stuff. So I shopped there to style that one. So if you're looking for some good raver or some interesting, they've got really interesting stuff. Let's see. That was from Kelly. Thank you for your question, Kelly. What do I miss most about touring? There are so many things I miss most about touring. Oh, you were at the Live of London? Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So I think the thing I miss most is one, that feeling, like you said, of the audience, just like there's nothing like that feeling and that connection that you feel with the audience. When I stand on stage and I look out into the audience faces, your faces, I get these amazing, intense feelings of like love for people, for you guys. As I look into your eyes, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish they could realize I'm going to get emotional again. I'm sorry. But it's like this powerful feeling where I just see things so clearly and I see that every single person is amazing and special. And I'm like, oh, I wish they could tell how much I love them right now. Like I wish. And it's this really cool connection that I get pretty much only when I'm on stage performing. So I really miss that feeling. But in a way, I feel it right now as I talk to you about it because I know you're there. And then also, I really miss just being on the bus with my tour family and my crew. And while we were filming this, we were all staying in an Airbnb, quarantined together. And it felt for a week and a half like life was normal. And it felt like we were back on tour. And it was like really special. What space was this filmed in? Michael is asking. It was filmed in Las Vegas at LMG. And oh my gosh, they're amazing. They've provided all the equipment for my tours for years. I have a great relationship with them, and they came through for me so much. They were so kind to me, and I could not have done this without them. How did I come up with the beautiful costumes from Haley? I love costumes so much. Like I love, from the time I was a little girl, I was playing dress up and I was making my own dresses and sewing. And so I did not sew fully any of the costumes for this. I like did a lot of addition, like adding things to the costumes to like make them, you know, pop a little bit more, or like add embellishments to dancer costumes or my own. But some of them I bought offline. Some of them I borrowed. Like my friend Kim Del Grosso in Utah, she owns a dance studio, and I called her up. I was like, I'm out of money and I still have more costumes. Do you have this? So it was just a combination of people really coming through for me and helping me. Some of them I drew pictures and designed and sent it, you know, and a stylist made them happen. But I love designing costumes. And so it just kind of was, what does this number feel like? And it was really important for me to make every song feel very different, with costuming, with even my hair, and color palette. Almost every song had a very different color palette, because I just wanted every song to have its own feeling, texture. I edited everyone very differently, because I just really didn't want anyone to have a chance to get bored. What's my favorite Christmas song to play? To be honest, I love I Wonder As I Wander. That one just is so, I don't know, it just feels very like it's a testimony of my faith, but at the same time of being like an expression of my spirituality. It's like hardcore and it's like kind of dark. And I kind of love that, because usually you think of spirituality like Angels We've Heard on High, you know, something so sweet and like kind of, you know, that makes you feel all the feels in a sweet way. That's what most of the time I think of as spirituality. But I wanted to do I Wonder As I Wander, the opposite. I wanted it to be dark and intense, and but yet I still feel a lot when I play it live. So that's one of my favorite songs that is my favorite song on my Christmas album. Let's see. Reagan asks, what's the most difficult part of the to choreograph? How many attempts did it take to complete it just right? So I worked, Ashley Gonzalez choreographed this whole thing. She has danced with me or choreographed for me for years. So I can't take credit for any of the choreography. We work together. I'll give her tons of ideas, and then she just makes it so magical, and the movement is so cool. Like, I just, as I was watching, it was like, dang, Ashley did such a good job. She is so good. You guys should follow her on social media because she's amazing. Ashley Gonzalez. But yeah, it's funny how sometimes the easiest ones are the hardest. Like, for some reason, we all struggled a lot with We Three Kings, which most of it is just kind of movement to the beat. It was very simple choreography, most of it, but we all were like, why is this one the hardest? It's the easiest. But, sometimes that's the way it is. It's like, you focus so much on the really hard ones that the easier ones, you're like, where's my brain? Where's my brain? And of course, the hair hanging was definitely the hardest. And I did choreograph that one myself, which I was pretty proud of myself. I would just go into that studio every day and figure out what I could possibly do. And then I just put that list of the things I could possibly do in a sequence and spun around as much as I could. But that one was definitely the hardest to pull off. Especially because, I could only hang for my hair for so long. It was, as you saw, it was very painful. And I just was like, at a certain point, you just know when it happens, but you're like, I can't do it anymore, for today. Your neck can only hang on so long, as well as your head, your scalp. And so I was really nervous, but I hung for an hour to film that, which was a really long time. Because interestingly enough, if you let the pressure off, like if I was to like completely take a break, it was almost impossible to start again. So I literally hung for an hour to film that. We just didn't stop. Oh, it makes me have it makes me sweat just thinking about it. Okay. What went into the choice of the songs for the show? Nick is asking. Let me think about that. I think that I just thought of all the songs that I have, all my Christmas songs, and then I would just brainstorm ideas for hours, and I'd figure out what this song would be and what color it would be. Like I said, I wanted every song to be a different feel, a different style, a different color, a different costume. And so I was just trying to creatively think what is the point of this number? What's its point in the show? And then I, wrote out what every number would be, and then I picked my favorite. So it wasn't only about the music, it was also about what creative idea felt the most magical and flowed the best. So yeah. What's my favorite dinosaur? Katie wants to know. My favorite dinosaur. What's that little one in Jurassic Park that has the the thing that pokes out? I obviously need to learn my dinosaurs better, but that one is probably pretty cool. And then Olivia is 9 years old. She wants to know what's my favorite Christmas movie. I love It's a Wonderful Life. I watch it every year, and every year, no surprise to anybody, I cry at the end scene. Oh, it's so good. That's my favorite. Let's see, I'm trying to think what other ones. I mean, I have so many favorites. I love White Christmas. I like the classic ones a lot. Let's see. Peter, what was my most memorable performance? Ever? I'm going to say I love performing in France. France is my favorite country to perform in. Something about the water they drink over there, or it's in their bread or something. Those people are just so passionate and so, I don't know, I just feel so much love. And I had my birthday in Lyon last year, and I just remember that show felt so perfect. It's impossible to have a perfect show. I'll always be like, dang it, that was a little flat, or this was that. But for some reason that night, everything felt magical and perfect. And I just, yeah. What was the most complicated piece to memorize and play out of the 10 songs? Anya is asking me that. What's interesting is I memorize all my music as I write it, because I don't write them down while I write the music. I'm writing the song. I memorize them kind of as I'm writing. And so memorizing them, that's something I've always been good at, because when I was a kid, well, still to this day, I'm a terrible sight reader because I'm dyslexic. So I could never sight read music. And at the time, I didn't understand why. I didn't know I was dyslexic. But so I just got really good at memorizing songs because I couldn't read them. So I'd memorize them really quickly. And now that's become a really good gift. So it's like, it was kind of a curse at first. I was like, this is going to make it so hard to play the violin, but it's turned into quite the blessing. But the hardest one to play out of all 10 pieces, I think, I think with the choreography, Angels is one of the harder ones to play because it's so sweet and the music is so like slow, long notes, but yet the choreography is lots of spins. And so balancing like spinning choreography and slow notes is a little bit difficult. Oh, thank you, Ava. You were just saying, they're saying they love the show. And thank you for holding your breath for me while I was hanging by my hair. Like I said, I got like super stiff. I was like, oh, here it goes. Let's see. How many hours a week do you practice? And when did you begin dancing while playing the violin? I'm your biggest fan, Madison, age 5. Thank you, Madison. It's so nice to meet you over this chat. Okay, hold on. Luna is scratching at something. Okay, sorry. But let's see. I started when I was a kid. I would practice about, I think it was 30 minutes a day when I was really little. When I was like, I started when I was a little bit older than you. I was 6 years old, and I had to practice at least 15 minutes, and most of the time 30 minutes a day. And that got more as I got older.